Eric Cantona has never been a man of half measures, neither on the pitch nor in the public eye, and his latest comments about Manchester United under Sir Jim Ratcliffe reflect a deep frustration that cuts to the core of the club's identity. Speaking in multiple interviews throughout 2024 and 2025, Cantona launched a fierce attack on Ratcliffe and the Ineos-led regime, accusing them of disrespecting the club's history, dismantling its culture, and steering Manchester United away from the values that once made it one of the most iconic institutions in world football. The intensity of Cantona's criticism stems not only from his status as a club legend but also from his long-standing emotional connection to United, a connection he fears is being eroded by what he views as corporate, detached, and insensitive leadership. Cantona first expressed outrage at what he described as a severe lack of respect shown by Ratcliffe and the new leadership team toward the club's past and its people. In his view, the abrupt structural changes introduced by Ineos, including dismissals of long-serving employees and the sidelining of club figures who shaped United's legacy, amounted to an attack on the club's very soul. He argued that a football club is far more than a business or a financial asset. It is a living community built on decades of shared memories, values, and emotional investment from players, staff, and supporters. Cantona insisted that Ratcliffe's management style, which he labeled overly corporate and aggressively profit-driven, demonstrates little understanding of what Manchester United truly represents. For Cantona, the sweeping changes carried out inside Old Trafford reflect a leadership group who do not respect anybody, and who are making decisions without considering the cultural roots and emotional foundations that define Manchester United. Perhaps the most symbolic point of contention is Ratcliffe's consideration of demolishing Old Trafford and replacing it with a new 100,000-seat superstadium. To many fans, this idea is controversial. To Cantona, it is unthinkable. He believes Old Trafford is not merely a stadium but an irreplaceable monument to the club's identity, a place where the stories, triumphs, tragedies, and emotions of more than a century are embedded in its concrete and steel. Cantona warned that moving away from Old Trafford would strip Manchester United of one of its defining pillars, comparing the potential loss to the emotional disconnect experienced by Arsenal supporters after leaving Highbury. He argued that football clubs risk losing their soul when they prioritize modernization and commercial expansion over historical significance and community identity. To Cantona, Ratcliffe's willingness to entertain such a dramatic shift demonstrates not renewal, but destruction. Cantona also expressed frustration at how Sir Alex Ferguson, the architect of the club's greatest era, has been treated since Ineos took control of football operations. While Ferguson maintains an ambassadorial role and still attends matches, Cantona believes the new leadership fails to show the level of respect the legendary manager deserves. He suggested that marginalizing Ferguson's presence and influence, whether intentionally or as a byproduct of organizational changes, sends a damaging signal about the club's relationship with its history. For Cantona, disregarding figures like Ferguson is a sign of a club losing touch with its roots. He emphasized that Ferguson's philosophy, attacking football, bold decision-making, and unity between all parts of the club, is the foundation upon which United's global identity was built. In Cantona's eyes, Ratcliffe's vision strays too far from that philosophy, leaning towards rigid strategy instead of passion-driven football. Another major issue raised by Cantona is the significant number of staff redundancies under Ratcliffe's restructuring plans. Reports indicate that hundreds of long-serving employees across different departments were dismissed as part of Ineos's efficiency drive. Cantona condemned these actions as cold and insensitive, arguing that many of these employees formed the backbone of the club behind the scenes. For decades, Manchester United cultivated a family-like environment, where loyalty and community were valued as highly as performance. Cantona believes the mass layoffs sever that family bond and replace it with a sterile, corporate atmosphere that fails to reflect the true character of Manchester United. He warned that such moves, no matter how economically rational they may appear on paper, risk alienating the supporters who feel deeply connected to the club's heritage. Cantona's criticism also included personal disappointment. He revealed that he had offered to help the club in some capacity under the new ownership, drawing on his experience, passion, and understanding of United's culture. According to Cantona, the management showed no real interest in involving him. His frustration was evident when he stated, "And they don't care," highlighting how disconnected he feels the new leadership is from the club's former players and ambassadors. Cantona insisted that past legends should not control the club but should be listened to and respected as part of the club's ongoing identity. For him, the absence of engagement with figures deeply embedded in the club's culture is another signal that the current leadership is steering Manchester United away from its emotional and historical foundations. Beyond these individual points, Cantona's broader message is that Ratcliffe's version of Manchester United is increasingly unrecognizable. He pointed out that the ethos of attacking, expressive football, once a hallmark of United under Ferguson, has faded over the years. While no single owner or executive is solely responsible for that decline, Cantona believes Ratcliffe is not addressing it in a way that reflects the club's DNA. Instead, he views Ineos' approach as overly analytical and commercially focused, lacking the courageous, identity-driven philosophy that once defined United. Cantona warned that if a club loses its soul, even the biggest investments, best facilities, and most advanced strategies cannot restore what has been lost. Perhaps the most emotional element of Cantona's critique is his confession that if he were a young fan choosing a club to support today, he doubts he would choose Manchester United. This statement shocked many supporters, given Cantona's iconic status and his enduring place in the cultural fabric of the club. But for Cantona, this dramatic sentiment underscores the gravity of the situation. Manchester United, in his eyes, is drifting so far from its origins that it no longer feels like the same club he once represented with pride, passion, and artistry. His concern is not rooted in nostalgia alone but in a genuine belief that the current leadership is ignoring the fundamental elements that connect generations of supporters, employees, and players. While Cantona's comments sparked disagreement among some who support Ratcliffe's modernization efforts, his criticism resonated widely among fans who fear that the club's identity has been diluted in the relentless pursuit of commercial success. The tension between preserving tradition and embracing change is not new at Manchester United, but the arrival of Ineos has intensified that debate. For Cantona, the matter is simple. He is not opposed to progress or investment, but to progress that discards the essence of what makes Manchester United unique. In the end, Cantona's words serve as both a warning and a plea. A warning that Manchester United risks losing its soul under leadership that prioritizes economics over emotion, and a plea for the club to rediscover the values that built its global legacy. Whether Ratcliffe and Ineos respond to these criticisms remains to be seen, but Cantona's voice carries a weight unmatched by most former players. His passion, intensity, and deep emotional connection to the club ensure that his criticism will continue to echo among supporters, shaping the ongoing discussion about what Manchester United is, and what it should be.